Swordtails have been one of the staples in the fish barn since its inception. It's been a while since we've spoken about the swordtails that live in the fish barn, so let's dive into the fish barn and take a little tour of all the swordtails. Let's first start out with one of my favorite strains of swordtails, my Berlin Blacks. I'm currently keeping these fish in a 90-gallon tank with a pair of giant sailfin mollies. I purchased the parents of these fish at the Big Fish Deal right before the pandemic started in March of 2020. What you're looking at now are the second generation of these fish, and they've grown up quite nicely. I really do enjoy the black coloration as well as the orange finish. An interesting fact about these fish is that they will throw some pineapple sword fry when they spawn. This is one of my favorite strains of Hellerai. I really do enjoy having them here in the fish barn. Next up, let's head to a 40 breeder that holds my group of Xiphophorus maiae. This is a larger swordtail species that is found in slow-moving rocky streams in Guatemala and Honduras. Also in this tank are a small group of Corydoras brabauti, a single super red bristlenose pleco, and a single platinum sailfin molly. I've had this group for about a year and a half or so, but unfortunately they've not spawned for me. I recently relocated these fish from a different 40-gallon breeder in the fish room, so hopefully this change will trigger them to spawn. We had recently spoken about this next tank when we spoke about the new rack that I built upstairs. This 40-gallon breeder is home to my group of Xiphophorus hellerai from Rio Atapa. I obtained this group from my friend Scott, who gave them to me when he downsized his fish room. As you can see, this colony is doing quite well with plenty of fry. While they won't show up on camera, there's also a small group of green laser Corydoras that live in this tank as well. While these are wild type hellerai, I do enjoy some of the speckled coloration that you'll find on some of the fish. I really had a lot of fun keeping this colony since it's arrived in my fish room. When you look at this next 40-gallon breeder, you'll see a lot of Vallisneria as well as a lot of fry. However, if you look closely at the fish swimming through the Vallisneria, you will find some of the adult Xiphophorus calmani. This fish is found in Lake Catemaco and is another rather large species, coming in at a little bit under 5 inches. I've had these fish for quite a long time, going all the way back to 2019, where I believe I picked them up at the Grand Valley Aquarium Society auction that was held that year. This is a really beautiful fish. I really do like its nice bronze coloration. There's also quite a large colony of lemon drop bristlenose plecos that live in this tank that will drop fry from time to time. One of the things I really do pride myself on here in the fish barn is being able to keep species for quite a long time. And this colony is really a great example. These fish did drop a lot of these fry earlier this summer, so hopefully I'll be able to take some very soon to my local fish club and get some out to my fellow fish keepers. So now let's head over to this 37-gallon cube, which is home to my Xiphophorus montezumae. These fish share this tank right now with some Corydoras concolor as well as some Poecilia mexicana, which is a wild type molly species. The swordtails and the mollies look quite similar, but the swords are the fish that have the lines going through the center of their bodies. These fish are juveniles, so you won't see the long swords that are characteristic of the males of this species. This is a rather slow-growing fish. It will be a while before we see these fish at their full adult size. As these swords grow up, it's highly likely that I'll move them to a larger tank. I've had this fish in the fish room in the past. I'm really looking forward to having full-grown adults living in the fish barn again. I recently moved the Xiphophorus malinche into this 20-gallon tank. This species was originally living in a 29-gallon tank with a group of tequila goodeids. I've had this species off and on now for a couple of years now, but unfortunately, earlier this year, I lost the only male that I had. So now this colony is just females. This species is known as the Highland sword and is found in fast-flowing waters in the state of Hidalgo in Mexico. This is a smaller sword species, just getting a little bit over 2 inches in length. One of the things I really like about this fish is its plaid scale patterns. I've had decent luck in the past with breeding this fish, so hopefully I'll have some fry again soon and another male will develop within the colony. These Xiphophorus nezahualcoyotl, or northern mountain swordtails, have a very similar story to the Xiphophorus malinche that we just discussed. I just relocated these fish from a different 20-gallon tank, and unfortunately, this colony is also all females since I lost the male when I took them to the ALA Fish Show back in May. I found these fish to be very shy, so I had to coax them out of their hiding spots with some food, which is what you see in the water column. You may have also noticed that one of the females is very gravid, so hopefully we'll have some fry very soon. I may add some additional cover to this tank, since this species is known to predate on fry. This is another smaller swordtail species, maxing out at about 2.5 inches. Caught. Like the Malinch, I really do like the plaid marking on this species as well. Let's take a look at another domestic strain that I have in the fish room, and that's my Koi Showa Swordtails that I got at a club meeting back earlier this year. I currently have a pair of these fish in this 54-gallon bow front that is home to quite a variety of different schooling fish. Unfortunately, only the male is out right now, but both fish have settled in quite nicely. At some point, I may try to get some more individuals and maybe move them to a species-only tank. So I hope you enjoyed looking at all the swordtails here in the fish barn. At the end of the video, I'll go ahead and put a tour of some of the other swordtail species that I've kept in the past. If you want to see all the fish in the fish barn, I'll add that video in the card at the end as well. So with that, stay safe, stay fishy, and I'll see you on the next video.